camera for Awkward, Season 5, Episode 19, Girls Gone Viral, and as you guys could tell, I was not looking forward to this episode. I mean, last week's episode was stupid, it was dumb, it seemed like it was trying to get us away from focusing on things that actually mattered, and I knew we had to focus on this dumb plot, which I just thought was stupid, and was even stupider in this episode, but I will say that I do think this episode was better than some of the other episodes we've had this half of the season. Maybe the strongest one we've had since What the Fuck Happened last year, since that episode. We haven't had an episode, I think, that has gone up to that episode, or even the first episode of this second half of the season, which did set up a lot of potential. And this episode did have some good things about it. Not a lot of good things about it, but there were some good things that I definitely did enjoy, and unlike last week's episode, which didn't really have anything that great about. So let's just get into this episode, because I do want to talk about it. Not a lot, but I do definitely want to talk about a few things. Basically, the main common thing in this episode, as we know, was Jenna's article. As we know, Jenna's article has now gone public, and the right thing to do, Jenna does do the right thing right at the very beginning. She wants Lizzie to take down the article. She thinks the best thing to do to confront him, and she even tells Maddie that she'll take down the article, but we see she tells Lizzie that she just wants the article taken down. It's the best thing to do. And she basically tells her that she's so impressed with Jenna's good article that she's actually giving her an ebook. And that's how different this is going, because Jenna is getting something good out of it. So you're really wondering, is Jenna really going to take down? Because she is getting something good out of it. She's getting that treatment that she's wanted from Idea Bin, and it seems like they actually are really appreciating her. And Jenna says that she knows she should say take the article down, but instead she says that this is amazing, of course. And Luke congratulates her, tells him that she's thinking of taking the article down, and Luke tells her that Maddie is selfish if he wants her to take it down, which, yeah, in many ways, Maddie shouldn't really care whether she takes it down or not. He really shouldn't. I mean, it's not his decision. She's the one that made the article. It shouldn't care to him. He shouldn't care regardless of whether or not she takes it down. Honestly, she shouldn't. So I can see totally why Luke is supporting her, and I love that Luke was supporting her on this, saying, no, don't take the article down. Don't take the easy way out. That is what Maddie would want you to do. Don't give in to what Maddie wants you to do, and I very much agree with what Luke is saying, that, this is very much just what Maddie wants, and she needs to focus more on what she wants rather than what Maddie wants, because what Maddie wants, she really shouldn't care as much about as what she personally wants, because that's a lot more important, obviously. So basically, she's really confused with what to do. She's very conflicted. We can see that Maddie's upset, but here's my thing with Maddie. If he really is still in love with Jenna, why hasn't he just broken up with Sully? I mean, it seems like the best thing to do is to break up with Sully because of what's going on, but for whatever reason, him and Sully remain together. We do get a little bit of Maddie's side of this, but not really a lot. We'll get into that, though. So basically, Jenna does realize, though, that the article was edited so that her admission of her own faults in her breakup were admitted, and it just seemed like a rant against Maddie. Because in her article, she did basically blame both of them, that they both were stupid. The problem is, of course, Ethan didn't think that was interesting because no one wants to read something where it's both sides. For whatever reason, they don't want to do that. And here's the thing. I would not be as upset with this plot if Jenna would have just read the article and then she would have known that it was edited. It's really stupid that she didn't just read the damn article and then know that it was actually edited, and then she could have, tried to not get it published. Because obviously, that's what good writers do. Good writers don't, they read over stuff before it's done. That's how it is. The editor, yes, they edit it, but the person that writes the article is the one that gets to read it over. And if Jenna didn't like it, she should have said, no, you need to change this. That would have been a much better plot. If we would have seen her try to get them to change the article because she doesn't want to hurt Maddie, that I would have really enjoyed. But that's not what this plot is. Instead, we're getting this really stupid situation where Jenna is being forced to take down this article, but even though she didn't read it, which I think is really stupid, and I'm not a fan of it. It really seems very out of character for Jenna, for her to not read the article, especially someone that's a writer and has done this pretty much all her high school career and is still continuing it in, after high school. She should know one of the most important things you need to do is to read your edited version of an article before it's published. It's just something that you need to do, and I don't know why the fuck she didn't do this. It just seemed really stupid on her part. Jenna's never been this stupid, and it really just felt very kind of out of character. So Luke is kind of actually insulted, though, by the fact that Jenna's so worried about hurting Maddie's feelings, which I get, that he really feels that Maddie doesn't care about her. I do get what Luke is saying, that she seems to care about Maddie and not listening to him, and Jenna says in voiceover that it looks like the article might ruin more than a relationship for her, and Jenna tries to confront Ethan about the changes to her article, asks him to take down the article, but Tamara points out that this is a bad idea because the piece will get more attention if it disappears. It's just not the best thing to do. So she needs to basically keep the article because everyone seems to love it. It's doing good things for her. She's just going to ruin all that publicity if she decides to take it down. So basically, he does admit that the apologist paragraph was aimed solely at Maddie because she didn't want to hurt him. And when she wants to go to Lizzie, he tells her that there's never one summer where her fellow didn't disappear, and asks her if she wants to be the one. Because someone disappears every single summer, and he doesn't want her to be the one to disappear, which I do think is an interesting conflict. And from here on out, I did actually like the rest of this episode, I will admit. With Jenna's plot, I did like the way the rest of this turned out, because now Jenna's really in this position where she wants to take this article down, but the fact that now she knows that Lizzie fires one person each summer, she could be in jeopardy if she really does ask to take it down, and that could really jeopardize her opportunity here, which we know that idea bin is something that she really wants to do and something that she wants to be very good at. And even when she talks to Lacey, I did like Lacey's points here, that Lacey wasn't, that Lacey never published the article. If you remember that one letter that Lacey wrote to her in season 2, we're actually get back to that. One of the most powerful scenes we have ever had in this show. If you guys remember that exchange between Lacey and Jenna in season 2, when Lacey wrote that letter to Jenna, when she was thinking of when she pretended to commit suicide, Lacey wrote that letter to her. That's probably one of the most powerful, emotional scenes we have ever had between Lacey and Jenna, and I'm very happy they brought that back up in this episode, because it is kind of the same situation. But like Lacey said, Lacey never published the article. Jenna, however, did, and now she needs to suffer those consequences. She should have read it over, and I like that Lacey was actually mad at her. She makes her realize how wrong it was to put the article out there for everyone to read. She just shouldn't have done that. She should have never published the article, because again, she should have read it over, but again, that's never really brought up in this episode. But I do like that Lacey said, it was cruel for her to put up that article. She should have just kept it to herself. She shouldn't have had anyone read it, and it should have just simply been something that Jenna read for her own enjoyment, and something that she just read for herself. I mean, I've written things that I haven't published. I'm sure a lot of people have. Jenna definitely should have done that. That should not have been something that she published, and it really has screwed up a lot of things for her and Maddie, as we've seen. So Jenna tells Maddie that she got the article taken down and asks him to read the unedited version, and he tells her that he's done talking with this and that he's done with her. He doesn't want anything to do with her. But then we get this really great scene, and let me just say that, like I said, the rest of this episode I actually really did enjoy, and this last scene especially, I really did love, because I don't think Jenna really is still in love with Maddie, but I do think that she genuinely does care about him, and she does want to help him, and Luke obviously is upset because he really doesn't feel any sympathy for Maddie whatsoever, especially because of the situation they were in. But Maddie's not answering the door. She goes back to his apartment, and she goes back to his house, and basically Maddie's not answering the door, and basically she reads her apology chapter loudly from the other side of the door, and it is the original piece that includes that she blamed herself, and she also slides the letter under the door, and she's surprised to find that Luke did come back. After being upset she cares so much about Maddie, Luke said that he realized he was a jerk for being hurt when Jenna cared about someone else, and basically, he felt that it was the right thing for Jenna to do, to apologize to Maddie, because that's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to apologize. She felt bad. She felt like she really hurt his feelings, and she wanted to fix that, which I definitely did like seeing. And we do see in the final scene that Maddie did read that letter, and he did decide to read the apology, and you can see that he's very touched by this. But I really feel deep down he does love Jenna, but Jenna just doesn't feel that way about him anymore. I think to Jenna, this is just helping out a friend. This is really all she wants. She wants to help out a friend. She wants to, she wants to just do the right thing and apologize, but to Maddie, it's a lot more than just a friend, and that's something I think is very interesting. I think the show's doing a very good job of addressing, is showing the relationship between Jenna and Maddie. It's a very complex relationship, and I definitely do like that. So overall, I actually really did end up liking this plot. I started off not liking it, but I think the ending result was really good. I hope that this whole Jenna and Maddie conflict, I hope it's over, because it looks like it is. Next week is about them babysitting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let's get to the other stuff in this episode, because we did get this one thing with Sadie and Sergio. This was kind of dumb. It really was. Sadie and Sergio, they really seem to be like the new Jenna and Matty, where they have some sort of conflict, but this seemed like a genuine conflict. I get it that Sergio wants more than just physical intimacy. He wants emotional intimacy. He doesn't just want them having sex every few minutes. We see that basically he's not officially saying that they're together. It seems to him like it's just a sexual relationship, which really is all it is. They're just having sex, and you can see that he does want more out of it. And I love that scene between Sergio and Sadie, where basically he tells her that he wants emotional intimacy, he doesn't just want this physical stuff, and he wants a lot more than that. And I like that they did make up very quickly. I like that they realized that they're not just going to fight over this, that this is stupid, and that they need to move on. I thought that was a really good scene. I definitely really did enjoy that, and I want Sergio and Sadie to be happy. I think Sadie deserves it. I think Sergio deserves it. They really do deserve each other. They're very good together. Sergio's been good for her. Don't split these two up. I think it'd be dumb if they did that. And then Jake and Ophelia, and then the weirdest part of this episode, without a doubt, for me, was Jake and Ophelia. That was the one thing where I have no idea why they focused on this. Jake, basically, he's trying to move on from Lissa, so he's going to Ophelia, who we're not seeing any of, by the way, Lissa. I think that was interesting. He's going to Ophelia now, and it seems like they're having sex, and basically, she likes it that he's staying by her side, because all the other guys seem to be one-night stands, and seems like with Jake, it's a lot more. So, I guess he's going to have to deal with that in upcoming episodes when he sees Lissa again. But Jake at this point seems directionless. He really does. I mean, it seems like he's back at being back at the club, and Maddie and Sully are working there. I mean, that whole part of the show really feels directionless, as does Tamara with Patrick. I mean, she's trying to talk to Sadie about Patrick. She's ignoring her because of the whole thing going on with Sergio. But other than that, we got nothing with Tamara and Patrick in this episode. So this episode, I think, was an improvement over other episodes. It still wasn't that great, though, because the show itself is just in this spiral where this entire thing is just seeming pointless, and it's not seeming like enough. Again, this is the final season, and I'm not getting that final season feel. I feel like we are going to get as the show goes on. We have 4 episodes left this season, and I do think that 4 episodes left the entire show, actually. There are 24 episodes of the season, and we have 4 episodes left this season. So I do feel that we are going to get that final season feel in these final 4 episodes. Hopefully, I think we're finally going to get that. But overall, guys, I actually enjoyed this episode a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think it was a lot better than some of the other episodes we've had, but it just still doesn't seem that important. I'm not watching the show in anticipation. I don't look forward to the show every single week. It's just, oh, it's another show I'm watching, and that's something I'm upset about, because Awkward used to be one of my favorite shows. You guys know how I love Season 3, and how much I love the first half of this season. I actually really did love the first half of the season. I actually love the second half of Season 4. It was one of my favorite shows to watch, and now it's just another show I watch that I'm just waiting for to end. This and The Vampire Diaries, those are the 2 shows that I'm just waiting to end, and they're not ending. But luckily, Awkward is ending. It has 4 episodes left, and hopefully those 4 episodes will be as good as the second half of this episode, because the first half of this episode was really bad, honestly. The whole thing with Jenna not overreading the article, that's just really dumb, but I did like the way that whole thing turned out, and I do like that Jenna and Luke are not fighting because of this. I like that Luke does realize that she just wants to help out Maddie. It would have been dumb for them to fight, and I like that they didn't. I like that Luke really does care about her and understands she just wants to do the right thing, and that he really is a jerk for telling her not to, which I thought was really good. I really did like seeing that, and it really just showed how great of a boyfriend Luke is to Jenna, because if this was Jenna and Matty, and Jenna would have done something for Luke, Matty would get upset with Jenna, and would tell her, why would you do this to me? Why would you try to go to another guy? We'd have that whole situation. Luke, on the other hand, while he's upset, he understands that he is upset. He understands that she's doing the right thing and that she really just wants to help out a friend, and I definitely really did like seeing that. But overall, guys, most of you guys saw this episode. Love to hear your thoughts on it. For me, again, another pointless episode, not really much to it, but I did think that it was better than other episodes we've had, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for a classic movie review, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.